My name is Lydia. I'm the marketing lead for a DAO. And tonight, we are based in Hong Kong. For those who are dialing in from Asia, good evening, and thank you for joining us. And Jess is based in the States, so early morning for him. And it's a great opportunity for us to get together to chat about DAO, especially the Web3 community, and how we invest in and develop DAOs. And I think Kama, tonight we have three speakers here. Kama is the co-founder of a DAO, and Jess Sloss is the founder of C Club. And Chao, another our last guest speaker here, he's also DAO enthusiast and been contributing and participating in quite many different DAOs in both Asia and the Western communities. So it's a great honor to have the three of the speakers to join us tonight to share about their insights and their experiences with working with DAOs, their experience and also their insights. And tonight we're going to have a bilingual session. So I will be translating this into Chinese as we go, and Kama, feel free to add as we go. Yeah, let me do a quick Chinese intro before I guess I can pass the mic for everyone to go around the room to introduce themselves. So 今天晚上谢谢大家来到今天我们的这个 Twitter Space。那我们今天很有幸请到了我们几个 speaker， 然后一个是 Kama， 是来自 A 道的 founder。然后还有 Jess 是这个 C Club 的 founder， 还有创始人。然后另外是Chao 也是一个DAO 这方面的一个资深的研究者，也参加了很多非常著名的 DAO。那今天我们 A 道这边那我是 Lydia， 然后我是现在负责 A 道marketing 这块的一个负责人。然后今天也非常有幸能够请到三位一起来跟我们大家去聊一下在 DAO 这一块的一些发展，还有到这些不同的项目上面大家的一些经验吧，还有因为他们都是在DAO这一块非常资深也非常有经验的这个研究者跟创始人。那 how about let's start, and I would like to go around the room and have everyone to introduce themselves. Kama, how about you start first?
Sure. Thank you, Lydia. Hi, everyone. Karma Pocket. I'm a core contributor and a core team member of ADAO. ADAO, we launched on the 1st of April, so we have been up and running about 5 months. We're still learning, evolving, but all of us are very excited about this space. We have true passion about the Web3 bottoms up approach, the true ownership of our own community, and we're here for the long term. The best thing we are together is actually learn everything we can through panel discussion like this from experts like Jess and Chao. Yeah, so I would probably let them speak most, share more of their insights to the audience today. 然后我们 A 单是一个 Web 3的一个社区从4月份开始 launch 到现在，经营了大概5个月左右。我们都是一群对于 Web 3、对于到很有这种热情的伙伴。好，然后我们也在不断的去通过学习和研究分享吧，让我们自己也能够从中的受益，去发展这个道。因为我们在一个很早的阶段，所以今天是我会更多的让这个我们的资深的王超还有这个 Jess 来分享一下他们对道的一些看法。让我们的这个华语社区或者英语社区也好吧，能够受惠在这个今天的这个 section。好，我就讲这些，谢谢。
Cool, thanks, Karma. And Jess, could you quickly introduce yourself?
Yes, good morning. I really wish I could speak more than one language, but I appreciate whoever will be translating this. It's very exciting to be able to speak across the world. My name is Jess. I'm based just outside of Vancouver, Canada. And 2 years ago, I had the privilege of starting Seed Club, which is the leading network of DAO operators and builders. We run an accelerator program. Applications close tonight at 11:59 Pacific time. So we're very excited to be moving into our 5th cohort. We have a big belief in the idea of community ownership, both in networks, but also in the networks of people that come together to make fun, amazing, impactful things on the internet. And we thought that by far the best way to have an impact on the space was to bring smart people together who are pushing for really big goals and support them in their pursuit of them. So very excited to speak with you today. Hopefully I can be helpful. And Chao, very wonderful to see you here as well. And thank you to the ADAO team for hosting.
那大家好，Jess 刚刚也介绍了他，就是他是来自加拿大，就是在温哥华旁边，现在 base 在温哥华旁边的一个城市。那在大概2年前呢，就创立了C Club 这个 DAO，然后主要这个 DAO 是去连接这些DAO不同 DAO 的这些创建者跟运营者，然后也那 C Club 呢也有一个孵化器的项目。那刚刚他们第5季的这个孵化器的项目呢，也会在今天晚上的这个西岸太平洋的时间，也会在今天晚上去截止。会做最新的这一期的这个申请，也是今天晚上的 deadline。那整个 C Club 的话，也是很重视的去宣扬整个关于社区的这个ownership， 还有说想要利用通过社区，通过这个 Web3 的这个方向跟概念，去创造最大的这个最大的这个影响力。然后也是希望说通过他们的这个DAO 能去。So next, how about Chao? Could you quickly introduce yourself as well?
Yeah. Hello, this is Chao. I'm a member of both HDAO and City Club, and maybe another 2,000 DAOs. So in the past decade, I have worked on online games, IT service, and also as the COO of a major crypto wallet in China. And my current focus is on learning and participating in DAOs. So Lydia, Karma, and Jess, I'm really excited to be speaking with you today. 好，大家好，我是王超，我刚才没有反应过来，我是 A 道的成员，然后我也是 C Club 的成员，然后可能还是其他几十个道的成员，然后我也在几个道里面在做贡献。我过去职业经历还比较丰富，做过一段网络游戏，也做过比较长时间的 IT 服务，然后17年开始我做了几年区块链钱包 COO，在负责整个相关的业务。那现在我的重点是在参与一些道来学习和成长然后今天很高兴和大家一起来做交流。
非常非常谢谢 Chao 也谢谢自带翻译啊。这个 Yeah, thank you Chao and thank you everyone for the quick intro. I think everyone here tonight also are very interested in the space, especially in Web3 and in DAO, especially the way of DAO. How DAO works and how this idea come along and how it has been evolving. So I think I also see Club as one of the very famous accelerators in this space. I think everyone's very interested in learning more about how C Club was founded and how these ideas came along. Yeah, so I think first I would like to maybe Jess can share a little bit more about how did you found C Club and what was the original idea and how has it been evolving? 那很快我想要也是因为大家今天晚上来到这边都会对 DAO 这个话题非常有兴趣，所以我也想要先请Jess 来跟大家讲一讲 C Club 整个项目它最初的想法是怎样去创立起来的，然后在过去的2年间也是怎么样一路的经历是有怎么样的一些变化和进化的过程。那 Jess, could you quickly share?
Yes, I love this so much with the translation. This is a lot of fun. So thank you again, Lydia. So C Club started just about 2 years ago. For me, the interest in Web3 or crypto was always seeing how important networks were and realizing that our existing ownership structures, corporations, equity-based organizations didn't allow the people who were using and building those networks to have ownership in those networks. And so I got into the space in 2017 with that interest. In 2020, we started to see a number of experiments with social tokens, these tokens that were trying to represent value or ownership in more of the social or community layer in crypto. And so we started a Telegram chat with 11 people in it that were exploring this new type of tool, I guess. And very quickly, we started to realize that there was something there, but that there were a million more questions than there were answers. And so we launched our very first, we called it a social token incubator in the beginning of 2021 to well, really to try to answer the questions faster together. So we knew that there would be more questions and even more questions, and the best way to find answers to those questions was to build alongside the smartest, most creative, most talented people we could find to go help them solve their problems and then help us all learn faster together. So I think C Club is a sense-making network. Our job is to go out to the edges of the space, work and learn, and bring those insights back to support our community and to help the next group of projects launch. So eventually C Club will be a network of networks, and I get very excited to think about what this looks like when we have done 100 cohorts instead of just the 5 that we'll be working on now.
Thanks, Jess。说就是 network 的这个网络的建设的这个一些想法跟项目里面，那在2020年的时候呢，他就更开始的着重去想说 social token 这个概念，就是社区代币吧，如果是直译过来的话，我不知道对不对啊，可能超可以给一些补充专业的这个术语跟建议啊。那其实在这个方面的话，就是在 social token 的意思，其实就是说，这个代币或者这个价值是更体现在社区的建设跟作用上面来的。那开始的时候是整个 C Club 的初创其实是由11个人在一个 Telegram 的一个群组里面发现，然后大家也是很有趣的一起去讨论关于 social token 这个社交社区代币的这样的一个形式的一些组件跟各种的一些建设的问题。但是讨论下来就发现说，其实大家有很多很多不同的问题，也是希望说更多的一个解决方法是不是只靠自己的讨论，而是引入跟参与到了更多的去建立起了这个 C Club 这样的一个孵化器跟这样的一个组织之后，能够搭建起一个更强大的网络，去连接不同的人，一起去探讨，一起去建设这样的一些社区，跟创造更大的价值。所以他们就是在抱着这样的一个理念的情况下面，去创造了现在的这样的一个 C Club 的这样的一个组织。那过去也是组织了好几期不同的这样的孵化器项目，然后也是通过建立了这样起的不同的网络，就是不断的去做孵化跟连接，然后想要去达到更强大的一个影响力跟一个这个价值出来。对，那中间可能meanwhile if any questions Karma and Chao feel free to add, and yeah and feel free to add in Chinese too if my translation can be better.
我补充一下，刚才 Jess 说的 social token 最初其实当时流行过一段是个人的代币啊，就比如说 Lydia 有一个 Lydia token，Karma 有个 Karma token，所以最初大家讨论的是这一类型的 social token， 但是大家很快就发现其实这种没那么靠谱嘛，所以大家就在学习讨论，那么什么样的 token social token 可能是更好的所以这时候就觉得可能作为一个 community 我有一个 token 可能是一个更优雅的一个玩法，所以后面就把这整个的重点放到了这块儿。基本上我觉得 Lydia 刚才已经把Jess 说的东西基本上都表达出来了。我稍微加一点I would like add a little bit more from a member perspective. I came to C Club looking for more community project because I'm interested in DAOs, and C Club did lead me to many good communities. And C Club is also a great media, produce one of the best products in the Web3 space, and listen to every episode. I would say half of my knowledge about DAOs and Web3 came from the C Club podcast. So as I learned more about C Club itself, the concept of the linear network became more appealing to me. So I start to invest more time here in learning, growing, and making friends with others. So it's a joyful and insightful community to me, and I really like it. 对我刚才补充一下我作为社区成员的看法，因为我自己是对道有非常强烈的兴趣，所以最早我来到 C Club， 其实当时是把它当做一个信息的一个发掘地，因为他们加速了很多道嘛，我觉得有一些很好玩，就通过 C Club 了解到了很多很有意思的道。然后他们也在做一档播客，这个 podcast， 然后我听了每一期所以我觉得我在 Web3 这里边的认知其实有很多其实就是来自于这档播客。 然后刚才他也讲到这个 learning networks 这个概念这个也很吸引我，所以时间久了嘛，我就投入了更多时间一起交流成长，和大家成为朋友总之，这是一个我觉得它对于一个孵化器来说，可能大家如果你不是真正在做一个DAO项目，可能你并没有太多机会去参与到这个孵化器但是即使这样C Club 也是一个非常好的一个 place，大家可以过来学习成长，哪怕你并不需要去加速，也能够在这里面得到很多很多成长
Yeah, I totally agree, and I also learned a lot from the Seek Club podcast as one of my early know-hows into the space. Like I got most of my knowledge, like maybe similar to Chao, that I listened to many of the episodes. That's how I learned a lot about DAOs and community, and also a lot of very interesting and thought-provoking topics that are generated from the podcast. And then I think one thing I want to ask Jess is that, because I think everyone knows about the accelerator, and some people know about Seek Club from the podcast and content, and I know there's a Seek Club studio as well. So how are these teams or these different projects or different areas formed, and how many different types of projects are there in terms of like how you divide your teams? How does it work within Seek Club? 那我刚刚也提到说，就是可能刚刚超也有补充，就是除了这个孵化器以外，其实 C Club 它也有自己的这个播客。其实很多人可能会对 DAO 跟 Web3这方面有兴趣的话，像我本人也是很多很多的知识也是从他们的播客里面来的。那我也想要了解一下说，哎，其实，在 C Club 里面，除了这个孵化器以外，我知道他们也有这个 C Club 的 Studio，也会有这个播客内容这一块，也想要请Jess 去多介绍一下，说其实，在 C Club 这边，他们到底是有多少个不同的团队在负责不同的这些不同方面的内容跟项目。Yeah, just could you quickly go over maybe different areas that C Club is working on?
Sure. I think so. Maybe there's two answers here. One, the accelerator is the main focus of C Club today. The studio is something that we have operational and have worked with a number of projects through, but the accelerator really is our focus. And the difference between the two is very slim, but our studio is where we work with projects that are maybe further advanced or that require more resources and effort from the C Club team. And the accelerator is where we work with usually very early stage projects and help them go from 0 to 1. Over the last 6 months, we've really de-emphasized our focus on the studio and instead put it more in the accelerator because we see far more opportunity for growth, and there is a much stronger community connection, and there's just so much value that can be driven through going and building a DAO in the community of other people rather than working with a small team, even a brilliant small team like the folks we have at C Club. Maybe I'll let you translate that, and then I'll talk about the structure of C Club more generally.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. Yeah. So 那之前呢，会有一个叫做C Club Studio 的这样的一个一个部分跟项目然后这一块其实他们两者之间的这个会有一些共同点。那其中的其实 Studio 之前的话，或者是对于一些项目的辅助，是会需要到更多的资源。在团队方面来讲，是投入更多的资源到这个 Studio 相关的这个项目里面。那 Accelerator 呢，这个孵化器项目呢，是更加是希望说能够帮助到很多道的从0到1的这个部分的创建，也是更加重点的关注在社区的建设这一块。那他也提到，在最近过去的可能这2期里面，他们就现在的精力跟资源就更集中在了现在的孵化器上面，就是更希望说通过这个孵化器能够达到对更多的这个不同的团队、不同的项目带来更大的这个影响。
So from how we structure our operations point of view, we have we have the organization broken down into a number of working groups. They are our accelerator working group, our cultivation working group, our media working group, and our product working group. And the accelerator is fairly straightforward. Our cultivation working group is the team that wants teams graduate the accelerator, they join cultivation. This is where we help support projects beyond the accelerator. So because C Club has ownership in these organizations, we are committed to helping them grow throughout their lifetime, and the types of support they need as they grow change, and that's where we provide that support. We also have our media working group, which produces our podcast and our newsletter, and we're very excited about growing that and have some big plans to launch a new publication and really further the education and resources we provide there. And then our product working group both works on building the tools that allow us to operate as a DAO. So the C Club Accelerator Portal is a version of that, but there are a number of other initiatives that are working on as well. And then I think we see a lot of opportunity for growth in building specific tools that support our DAO and other DAOs as well. And then we have a few people that work in operations, things like accounting, just to make sure that, we operate efficiently and effectively.
Thanks。那 Jess 刚刚也介绍了说整个C Club 的这个组织架构跟主要的组成部分，那也非常谢谢他的分享。那在这个 C Club 的主要组成部分里面有几块，第一块就是这个刚刚提的最多的这个 accelerator 孵化器的部分。那第二个部分呢，就会有这个叫做 cultivation 的部分，这个就是更多是在 accelerator 之后。可以当做是翻译作是更深的是一个深入的深耕的一个部分吧。就他们也是希望说，从这个 accelerator， 从这个孵化器项目能够出来之后的这些项目，他们会得到继续的持续的一些支持，所以就会进入到这个cultivation 的这个工作组，由这个工作组去做 support。那另外两个主要的工作组呢，一个是 media 的工作组，就是媒体的这一部分，那他们就会主要是负责像那个每周的或是固定的一个 newsletter， 还有说他们的播客，还有他们即将也会迎来有一些新的这个出版物也会发生。那 product 就产品相关的，那这个就会更着重于去开发一些能够支持内部跟或是外部去使用的一些工具，或者是相关的产品。这个accelerator 就是孵化器的这个申请的这个页面，也是由他们这个这个 product 的产品的工作组开发出来的。然后他们也看到说，其实会有很多不同的道之间也会有对这种各种各样的工具的需要，所以他们也会投入一些资源在这个工具的开发上面。那同时当然会有一些是他们平常的日常的运营的一些成员，那去负责是像会计啊一些管理的工作啊，后勤的工作的话，也会有这个运营的部分的团队去负责。那他就是这个就是基本上 C Club 现在的这个组织架构跟主要的组成部分。Thank you, Jess. I'd like to see if Kama and Chao has any questions or any for Jess or just for discussion in terms of the DAO structure or C Clubs, the structuring on the way they work.
Yes, thanks, Jess, sharing and Lydia's translation. You did a good job. And I would like to use the example of a DAO. So we have been up and running for entering our 5th month. So Jess, what are the typical challenge you see in the DAOs that in this stage after they launch their tokens or NFT, they're getting into their 2nd season? What are the sort of most challenge or most mistakes they make? Because this is an interesting area. They are not just brainstorming and planning. They're actually executing the things they think make sense. But most of us are exploring. So I would like to listen a little bit more your insights on this part.
开始建设，开始去投入去做的时候，那我们也想多知道一些从Jess 这边听一下他的分享，说通常看到这些DAO在初创的期间，通常会最容易犯的错误是哪些，然后会最常遇到的最大的困难跟挑战也是哪些。
Yeah, I think it's a great question. So, DAOs are good at 2 things, and then the third thing is a big open question. They're good at bringing money together. They're good at bringing people together. But the open question is, how do we effectively coordinate together? And so I think the biggest challenge, and that's a big open question that all DAOs are trying to solve and will probably continue to try to solve for some time. But the biggest gap I see in early stage DAOs is a lack of structure. I think when we launched DAOs early on, the idea seemed to be that, if you brought people together and maybe some money, then we would figure out the rest. And in my experience, the figuring out the rest is the hard part that requires the most amount of focus and work. And so at Seed Club, we say we need more structure in DAOs, not less, and we need more leaders, not fewer. So I think the biggest challenge for a DAO in the stage that 8DAO is in is thinking through how to build the organizational structures that allow it to be effective at operating. And those structures are more than just how you make decisions. They are how you build strategy, how you execute on those decisions. And often many of the most valuable ways that the organizations can create impact are not best done through big community-wide votes with a lot of decision makers in the room. And so being very clear around the direction a team is going, how decisions are made, and empowering individual teams to go and make those decisions in smaller groups so they can make the tough decisions and build the momentum they need to actually be successful at making something valuable, I think is the biggest piece of advice. But for Seed Club, that meant us getting very clear on who was doing what and breaking ourselves down into smaller teams that were very aligned around a bigger mission. So more structure.
Thank you, Jess. 那刚刚就是关于提到说，对于初创型的，就是早期的这个道的项目来讲的话，通常其实他提到了最初的时候，通常这些早期的项目都能够把人带进来，然后另外一个也是通常第二点就是能够把钱也能够带进来，但是最难的点或者是最大挑战的一个点是怎么样去当人跟钱都到位了之后。能够去把这两者结合起来，然后能够建立起一个体系或者是一个架构，能够让这个架构或者是这个组织能够开始运转。那因为他通常会看到说最大的一个缺口或者最大的一个挑战的话，就是很多道在早期的时候都没有一个 structure， 没有一个很好的架构跟系统。那 leader 更多的领导者才能够去，或者是怎么样去让整个架构能够更快的更有效的去做这个运行。然后在这个里面呢，再细分的话，就是可能要更要集中再去解决说怎么能够有更系统性的去做这个决定的这个架构的这个或者是这个决策的这个逻辑，然后还有是怎么样去能够做到用比较有系统化的去制定这个道的这个策略。什么时候去用这个要有一个很好的一个逻辑跟方法去决定说怎么时候去用到这个社区用整个社区投票的形式去做决定，那怎么样又同时能够去赋能一些个人或更小的一些群体能够更高效的去做这方面的一些决定，能够高效的去做这个动作做组织开展这个工作。那其实这个也是需要有一个比较长的这个讨论跟仔细去摸索的这样的过程。但是通常这个也是一个对于每个道来讲最方面有什么样的一些看法。Yeah, well, I would like to pause here and see what Kama and Chao has to add, or maybe Chao can share a little bit more in terms of, I think Jess has raised a very good point about structure, and a lot of DAOs are still working on that. And maybe Chao, since you have participated in many different DAOs and studied into many different DAOs, and what's your view and what's your insight here?
I think that's a big topic to talk about. It may take us like a 3-day workshop to cover it all, or maybe a 12-week accelerator program. So I think I would mention one point that my point of view, most projects, especially in the East area, the narrative level, people don't really know how to do learning, and that's really harm because I think every DAOs need to take good care of storytelling, right? Because people are tend to participate in some interesting meaningful things. If you don't do a good storytelling, you're going to stuck at the very early stage. Yeah, yeah, that's it.
对，刚刚超也提到说，可能如果是我们直接讨论这个架构啊，或者是系统的问题，这个就是组织的问题，可能就需要花很大力气，我们需要花很多的时间，因为这个也是一个非常深、非常广的一个 topic 吧。但是可能有一点超 narrative， 就是或者是他们 storytelling， 就讲故事，讲到他们的这个愿景的这个环节，其实也需要很深再去加强，或者是把他们的 vision 啊这方面也要再去加强的。Chao，我不知道这样的说法是不是能够清楚的表达到您刚刚想说的。
哦，对，抱歉，我应该自己讲的，我这个晕掉了。对，是这个意思。就我觉得大家在 storytelling 上面，尤其是对于我们东方这边的项目，其实大家并不像海外的这些老外那么擅长表达嘛，所以其实我们往往一个很好的项目，并没有办法去就很好的。
有没有什么样的其他的一些补充在这块？
我就还好。Yeah, thanks for the sharing. Actually, I would like to ask Chao maybe on his experience on the Chinese or the Asian the DAO development scene, because it's a very I was in the US 2 months ago. That's how I met Jess. We met in the Austin Consensus for the first time. It was a great event. Met a lot of DAO leaders, but we also know not just the US or Canada, a lot of other countries are trying to learn more and develop DAOs. So I would like to listen a bit more on Chao's experience on the recent development in the Asia or the Chinese DAO scene. I can translate myself. 对，所以我就想借着这个刚才超的这个发言，就想了解多一点关于他对于在这个道在亚洲或者在中国华人区的这个发展。2个月之前我去了美国，在跟 Jess 第一次在奥斯汀有见面，然后我们也有那个交流。虽然现在到了这个中心，很多的发展还是在以西方，特别是美国和加拿大为主。但是我们也看到有很多有志之士，都想建立自己的道，所以也听听那个超在这方面的一些分享。
Sure. I would say building DAOs in Asia is a little bit difficult in a more global pace, because I think there are several aspects. One is culture, because in Asia, especially in China, people are not really familiar with the voting things, with something like that. So that's kind of make people hard to do something, right? And this is the first one. Another is we have more. I hate to admit, but this is a reality that we have more speculating things here, right? So when you want to do a DAO, you cannot have so many speculating people. Yeah, that's kind of make some DAO a little bit hard to develop, because when there are more people came to get their alpha to do speculating, you kind of stuck in trouble, right? So yeah, but I would say there are a lot of emerging DAO. They did a great, such as HDAO and CDAO and maybe Builder DAO. I just saw they submit their application in the SC05. So I think after we have learning from the mature DAOs, we have like develop a system that really work for us, and we kind of did very well in this area. Oh, but one thing I forgot to mention is about the regulation. In most areas in Asia, the regulation is very different. So when you are doing a DAO things in Asia, especially in mainland China, I would say we can do that. The door is still open, but you need to pay a little attention to that, to try not to break the law. Right? 会不知所措啊，这是一个。另外一个是就是我们不得不承认啊，就亚洲区域这边 炒币的更多，炒币的更多，所以其实就是炒币的来的太多，其实对于道，尤其是对于一个早期的道来说是非常致命的一个事情啊。然后再就是我们的监管啊，监管层其实也不得不说，其实是我们支持我们发展的一个很大的一个因素吧。但是即使这样，我们还是会有很多不错的道逐渐会出现啊。大概就简单说一下。
对，谢谢超，我觉得也非常同意，就是您刚刚提到的，可能在文化上面对这个道的这种组织形式的影响，对于大家来讲，其实也是需要挺长的一些时间去习惯，或者是去适应的这样的一个工作。我们 I was just sharing and I want to add on and agree to Chao's observation and sharing on, especially I think the culture is quite different in Asia and especially in Chinese culture, that the more decentralized way is it's more a cultural disruption in terms of how people they think, the way of working. And I think people are very used to being told what to do and what they should do and not do. And now it's very in a very decentralized way. People will like, I think a lot of people it would take them some time to get used to, and or how to get the right motivation or an organization to make this all work. I think culturally it's also quite disruptive compared to the Western countries. Yeah, and then I think maybe just
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fascinating because I would say there is still a big gap and challenge in Western culture around self-management. And, the biggest challenge for being an effective participant in DAOs is that how do be self-motivated, self-starting, make decisions, that are not granted down from a CEO. And I think we have, a very long history of this self-management movement in the West, and yet even with that, it is still probably one of the biggest challenges. So very interesting to see how that plays out in the Eastern cultures.
对，刚刚 Jess 西方文化里面要找到这种自我驱动，自我组织，然后去做决定，然后自我的去做决策的这种工作习惯跟工作模式，其实也是一个非常大的一个挑战。那所以他也觉得说，在东方文化里面这个方面怎么样去开展，他也觉得非常的十分有趣，也希望看到更多。Yeah, I think next I would like to maybe, because everyone know about the C Club Accelerator, but maybe Jess can take us through and maybe share a little bit more details. If a project successfully applied and be selected, what is it like to go through the whole accelerator program, and what kind of resources and what kind of experience would that be? 如果我的这个项目去申请这个孵化器被选上了，其实在这个孵化器里面，整个经历跟体验是怎么样的呢？
Sure. So the accelerator is a 12-week program. In the first half, we spend a lot of time helping to sort of expand the field of what is possible through bringing in some of the smartest builders and operators from our network to share their real life experience. So these are folks who've built projects like Zora or Rabbit Hole or Cabin DAO, or Friends with Benefits, people who've built and have the deep experience of operating and growing a project like the folks who've applied. We also have, so each week there are two sessions. One is, we call a fireside chat. This is expanding the field of what's possible. And then the other is a workshop. And that's where we get very specific and tactical on some of the core areas that we know DAOs need to build proficiency in. So the main topics are around, what is it like to lead and operate a decentralized organization? We talk a lot about token structures, how to design a token economy, the options that are available there. We spend a lot of time talking about legal structures and fundraising. How do you capitalize an organization and do it in a way that is more regulatorily good, for lack of a better word? So the first half is very learning and building focused. We then go into what we call our build phase, and this is where we break into smaller teams, projects, and support the builders in, as Chao was saying, getting clear on their narrative, helping to structure their token, the very tactical things that they'll need to do to be able to, grow faster or launch their project. And then the accelerator finishes with what we call a demo day, which is where we bring hundreds of people into our Discord, throw a big party, and give our teams the stage to share about their big adventure, what they're building, and hopefully to recruit a whole bunch of new members to help them move forward with their project. So it's a big focus on big picture learning, tactical learning, building, and then launching.
Thanks, Jess. 那刚刚Jess 也分享了说整个孵化器的过程跟经历，如果在参与在里面其实是怎么样的。那整个孵化器的项目会是一个12周的一个项目，那会主要的分成2部分，前后2块。那前一个部分的话 ，advisor 是来自于已经比较成熟、比较出名的一些DAO 跟项目的，例如 Sora 啊、Rabbit Hole 啊，还有Cabin DAO， 还有Friends with Benefit 这样的DAO，从他们的这样的一个过去的经验里面去给大家去做一个分享。然后呢，主要每周呢会有两个 session， 那2个部分。那第一个就是会有一个是 fireside chat， 就是来自于这些前辈们的一些分享吧。然后第一个 session 呢，就是主要是更加是 focus 在集中在某一些固定的一些话题上面，就例如说是怎么样去设置你的token 你的代币的这个经济模型token 的 economy， 还有说像一些法律的架构，还有说在一些针对这个监管这个法治法规上面的一些 topics 的话，也会在这样的一个部分去涵盖到。那第一个部分就主要是真的是在希望帮助到这些 founder 去做这样的一个学习跟知识的补充。那再到去整个孵化器的第2个部分呢，就会主要是集中在整个真的是去做自己项目的一个建设，就他们就会去帮忙每个 DAO 的这个 founder 跟这个 DAO 去搭建他们的怎么样去讲好他们的整个愿景，他们的 narrative， 他们的故事，然后怎么样去能够去支持他们去用不同的工具去搭建他们的发行他们的代币，还有甚至帮忙去做他们的整个项目的这个发布，这个整个 launch 的这样一个 phase。那最重要的第3个就是他们来到就每个项目每个孵化器的阶段最后的时候呢，就会有一个叫做 demo day， 就是最后一天，那会在整个 Discord 上面会聚集了成千上百的人，就会大家一起来去听到这些项目对于他们的这个学习跟建设的成果的一个展示。那其实最重要的是，也是通过这样的一个 demo day 呢，也能够去给到这些项目，能够让他们去找到他们志同道合的人，找到他们给他们去一个平台去拉到新的成员进来，然后也是通过这样的最后一天，然后让更多的人去知道他们不同的项目。对，那因为之前我也看到说 Chao 在 Twitter 上面有讲。你刚刚也花了很多时间去研究今年就这一季最新的这个第5季的这个 cohort 的里面的这些 application 这些申请者。那我也想要听听 Chao， 可能你花了这么多时间去看的时候，有什么样的一些趋势，或有什么样的一些项目你觉得是特别好玩、特别有趣，或是特别期待的吗？Yeah, so I just want to ask Chao because since today, I think I saw on his Twitter today that he just spent another 5 hours to look into the applicants of C Club for this cohort. So I want to ask Chao and see if he has seen any interesting projects or what caught his eye most, or what are the trends that he observed of this cohort's applicants.
There are still a lot of projects I haven't looked at. There are, I believe, more than 150 by the end, and I look at probably half of them. And one project that right now attract me most is the Deep Store. I think it's like a moonshot idea. I thought it's not gonna make it, but I talked to the founder and see he really has a plan to nail it. Yeah, so the trend is, I think I remember like John said there is no much weird project in this cohort, but the weird project is coming out really fasting right now. So I think I would personally like those weird project with some moonshot idea and good culture, but in like weird, but in a good way. And Jess just mentioned like Carbon DAO. Actually, Carbon DAO is one of my favorite project in FE cohort. If not in the next cohort, but in I believe FAO3, they build Carbon outside of Austin to like provide physical space for creator to live in, and it's gradually involved into a community network. And now they have several facilities. They have great Web3 tools. They have a Medium arm that producing a podcast and a lot of insightful articles. And most importantly, they are building a network of neighbors that will maybe have hundreds or even thousands of physical nodes around the world to providing new ways of working and living for millions of people. And it all started with a crazy idea. And I believe uh, 18 is crowdfunding campaign on Mirror. It's really a small amount, but they did a really good job to nail everything. So yeah, I'm expecting those projects more and more coming in and get accelerated in C Club and yeah, change the world. 对，刚刚那个主持人提到就是 FAO5，其实我还没看那么多，因为它太多项目了，太多项目。然后目前我比较喜欢的一个是 D Store，就是它要用 DAO 来去 governance 一个物理上的一个真正的商店就听起来特别不靠谱。但是我跟那个创始人聊了一下，我觉得还是小伙子的这个想法还是不错的啊。呃，但是太多了，我只看了一半。就是我觉得我个人倾向会喜欢这种比较奇怪的项目，比较奇怪，但是它是那种好的奇怪，它不能是那种特别怎么说呢，就是奇怪的没边儿的那种啊。然后刚刚 Jess 提到这个木屋道、Cabin 道，这个我就非常喜欢。他们最早启动的时候，其实启动的很艰难，就是有一个想法，然后去 Mirror 上面去做众筹，只筹到了不到18个以太啊。然后他们就在奥斯汀边上一个荒郊野外建了一些小木屋，然后提供给了应该说给这个创作者一些物理空间，让他们去在这边去生活、居住、去创作啊，就是从这么一个特别小的事情开始，他们现在演化到变成一个社区的节点，然后他们有了好几个这样的 facilities，然后他们做了一个还不错的一个工具啊，然后他们现在的媒体其实也做得非常好。然后它的未来的愿景其实更大，它要做一个叫 network of neighbors，就是意思是会去建各种合作这样的节点。那未来它可能在全球范围内能有几百个甚至更几千个这样的节点，然后来去支持可能上百万人来去用一个完全不一样的方式工作生活。然后这一切其实它的起点就是一个特别疯狂的一个 idea。所以这类的项目其实要么就很早就凝聚不了共识就死掉，要么就它会变得非常厉害。所以我个人是非常喜欢这样的项目。
对，我也觉得是，在这个就是每个 cohort 里面，就是上去看的话，也会看到就是很多很新奇、很有趣的这些不同的想法，我就觉得是非常非常神奇的。So personally, I'm also very impressed and amazed by all the different ideas. But just by browsing and looking through all the different applications and different projects, and got so many inspirations and so many different ideas that I think that's really amazing. But I think one more follow-up question for Jess is that there are so many projects that then there are more and more applicants for each cohort, and the competition is actually getting really heated, very fierce, right, for each cohort. And what are the essential areas for you and the team to come to the final decisions, and how the decisions are made for each cohort finalist?
Sure. So, importantly, anybody can go and purchase 10 club tokens and go in and help us choose which projects get through to the next round. So what Chao is doing is logging into the accelerator.seedclub.xyz website. You can see all the applicants, he's adding questions, and then he's boosting the projects that he thinks would be a great fit. So that's really our first way of filtering down projects, is using our token holders and their insights to help us choose. So thank you for your hard work there, Chao. But we're looking for incredible founders, people who have a big vision and have demonstrated an ability to drive towards or build towards a vision in the past. We're looking for a big idea, something that is uniquely using Web3 to enable a new type of work or concept to come to life. We're looking at how a team is thinking about building value for their community. So this is how they create value as a community. Very important for communities and DAOs to be sustainable so that they have resources or are thinking about how to build resources to sustain them into the future. And so those are the big things we're looking for: great people, big vision, and something that's uniquely empowered by Web3.
那刚刚我也问到了 Jess 说，其实每一次孵化的项目的话，都会有很多，而且是越来越多的这个申请者会参与到这个申请的过程里面来，尤其是在就是最近这几期参加申请的人越来越多。那我也问到他说，到底对于他跟他的团队来讲他们选择到这个孵化器里面的项目来的标准跟准则是什么呢？然后那其实最第一道的话，或者第一道的门槛的话，其实是每个作为拥有这个 C Club Token 的人呢，就像 Chao 这样子的话，或是我这样子的话，就可以直接到这个网页里面去看到说这一季有谁已经有哪些项目已经参与到这个申请了。然后我们也可以用这个代币去做这个 boosting， 就是去给他们做一个支持。然后这一个我们也可以通过看到说通过这个 C Club 的 token 的那个持有者，他们的支持率越高的，这个就是可能是第一个，也可以看到说一个方向。然后另外呢，就是对于Jess 还有他们的团队来讲的话，他们重要的选择他们重要去看和衡量这些项目的话，有几个重要的准则吧。就是一个是说，现在看他们的这个项目的创始的团队，然后他们是不是有一个很清晰的目标跟这样的一个愿景需要去建设，需要去这个方向去建设的。然后另外的话就是要看他们的整个 idea， 整个是不是他们就是要一个比较 big idea， 就是比较大比较这样方式是可持续发展的，而不是一个短期的这样的一个作为。那最终这几个就是他们可能概括起来比较大的，就是他们在选择项目上面的一个标准。那更多的最后的话，肯定是也是要用到一些是不是一个很懂得 Web3， 就是用 Web3 的这些想法跟工具去。
Okay, thank you, Lydia. You should drink some water. You did a great job. And
Incredible job.
it's not easy to do a live translation. And yeah, I would like to take this opportunity to let everyone look at the top of this room. I just share a link of C Club's season 5 application. So whatever all the things Jess and Chao share about this season's cohort, you can find from their Twitter link, their website. Just like Chao did, purchase the token, join the Discord, and you can boost. It's very free and very democratic approach. That's why we're here. We're here to support three initiative. And also, if you swipe, there is application for you to join a DAO. If you like what you heard today, you are willing to get connected with more people, like-minded people are passionate about Web3 and DAO, go to our website. There is a link. Or you can DM me if you've got any questions. I'm happy to answer anything you have to about a DAO or joining a DAO. So I think next we're probably gonna very soon start the Q&A session. But before that, I have a quick question I want to ask both Jess and Charles. Is look at 18 months later, or say early. Today we are in the middle of 2022. 18 months later, that's the beginning of 2024. What would you like to see the DAO scene at that time, 18 months later? Is it going to be the numbers of DAOs you want to see, or the diversity, or we're talking about the more assets or the value being locked in the DAO treasury. What personally you want to see, because I can feel the passion you guys have from the conversation. I personally want to learn about this. So maybe start with Jess, and then Chao can share a little bit on this.
Sure.
Oh, let me
Yes.
sorry, let me translate. I forgot that part. Top token 进入他们的 Discord， 然后去 boost 参与到他们这个 season 的一些支持里面。然后另外有我们你那个切换一下，对吧？我有2个连接，另外一个就是我们那个A 道我们的申请，对吧？我们的网站也欢迎大家加入 A 道，成为我们的一份子，一起去探索Web3建设这个道。认识更多志同道合的朋友。另外我在我们开始我们的这个问答环节之前，我问了那个 Chao 和这个 Jess 一个问题，就是说18个月以后，你们想看到我们这个道是发展到怎样的阶段？是数量越来越多啊，还是说越同不同的类型，或者是说希望有更多的钱呢？是在各个道的这个金库里面。Okay, go ahead, Jess.
Well, and I apologize in advance, but I have to jump off right after I answer this question as I'm late for a meeting right now. Yes, I mean, I'm very excited. In 18 months, I think, as I said earlier, DAOs have done a good job at bringing capital together and people together, but figuring out how we can work well together and grow the value that we can collectively create is the big question and pursuit that I think we need to put our focus on. So in 18 months from now, I want to see DAOs that are building and creating value in the world, that they have, a growing amount of resources and people and attention, and that folks aren't looking at DAOs as some weird thing that most people think won't work, and instead that we have a number of really great examples of these new digital organizations, creating real, meaningful, lasting value in the world. I think we're very close to that today. And in 18 months, my expectation is that there will be a number of organizations that are mentioned in all the leading business publications as novel organizations that people need to pay attention to. And I'll just finish by saying I very much appreciate the opportunity to come here and speak with you all. Lydia, you are an incredible host. I don't think anybody's had to work as hard as you have to moderate a panel like this. So I appreciate your effort. Same to you, Karma, Chao. Much love, and apologies to anybody if you have a question. Maybe we'll have to do this again, but I'll need to hop off.
Thank you, Jess. Yeah, so I think I'll let you go first. And thank you so much for spending the time with us, especially it's early morning there, and really appreciate it. And I'm sure that we will continue the conversation another time. And also ADAO also applied as an applicant for this cohort. So we'll see.
I just gave you a boost.
Yay! Yeah. So yeah.
Thank you so much.
Really appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you, Jess.
Bye bye.
那谢谢 Jess， 因为他有另外一个会议要去参加。那他刚刚最后也是回答了卡玛的问题的时候，也讲到了说，其实他希望，因为卡玛的问题是说，像如果是在18个月后，他会展望说，对于这个道是这个愿景跟整个道的发展是怎么样的。他就概括的说到了说，其实他是希望说，现在这些不同的道的这个发展，既持续的去建设跟去创造价值的时候，他希望看到的是在18个月之后会有很多一些能够已经走出来的比较好的一些范例跟典范吧，能够在世界范围内是会成为这个对世界范围内是有很大的影响力的一些组织，然后而不只是在道的这个界别，而是真的是在整个世界的商业体系里面能够创造这个比较大的这个影响力，用以道的这种组织的方式来去做。那他最后也是因为他赶着要走，所以他也刚刚也是去跟我们去表示了这次的感谢，然后也是希望说我们能够再有机会去在这个 topic 上面，在这个话题上面会有更多的一些可以再进一步的深入去做交流吧。 对，那下面可能也麻烦就是对卡玛刚刚那个问题，可能也想要听听 Chao 的这些想法吧。如果在18个月以后，2024年的时候，你觉得整个道的发展会是怎么样的？
I think there will be more DAOs for sure. Actually, I wrote an article to imagine what will be like in 10 years in a DAO world. I never post them in any site. I just wrote that and yeah, keep in my computer. Well, in a 10-year degree, you can imagine everything you can, but in 1 year and a half, it's a little bit tricky because it's close enough. And I would say for sure there will be more DAOs. You can probably find uh, any DAO in any interest in 18 months. Like if you like airplane, you could probably find a DAO there. If you like farming or something, I think there are DAOs everywhere. But most DAOs are not going to make uh, in a sustainable way because we are still very early in the DAO age, right? So yeah, it's like the early stage in the internet. And for mature DAO such as FWB, Bankless DAO, some people are still questioning about that, right? Because they haven't done any solid thing to impact the world. But I would say in 2024, maybe FWB is gonna to did a great job and to like make a lot of impact to like creative things, to IRL things, and Carbon DAO is gonna to make a lot of things, and Bankless DAO, A DAO, yeah, I think DAO really start to impact the world. 对，又差点忘了。我其实之前写过一个 post 就是我畅想了一下10年之后我们的世界会是怎么样。当然主题是跟道相关的，但我并没有发表它，因为就反正瞎想嘛。当时也是因为一个特殊原因写的啊。因为18个月的话，其实还挺 tricky 的，因为就18个月嘛，就你瞎说很容易被打脸。但我觉得有一点是肯定的，就是肯定会有各种各样的道会出来，因为现在已经很多了，未来还会有更多所以我觉得其实未来不管你的兴趣是什么，你可能都能够找到一个道，它跟你的兴趣是高度相关的无论是你是喜欢航空、喜欢农业、喜欢火车whatever，你可能都能找到它，或大或小这是一个另外一个就是现在其实道还在被大家质疑，是因为还没有很多道去真正做了很重要的 impact the world 这些事情。就我们说 FWB 很好，它的 web 很好，但是 FWB 真正对世界上面就它真正的有一些 solid 的东西对世界产生影响嘛，暂时还没有更多的其实是成员自己在互相嗨，然后当然也做了很多不错的工作但我觉得这样的一些成熟的道吧，可能在18个月之后就会真正去产生很多的成果，然后大家会真的觉得道是一个不可忽视的力量，然后会不能说改变世界吧，但至少会长期存在于这个世界上，会成为传统组织之外的一个新的形式这是我的一个猜想。
Thank you, Chao. Yeah, I think Karma, is your mic working okay now?
Yes. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. So maybe Karma can share, since you asked the question, what's your vision or what's your view in 18 months, or at 18 months first, and then in 10 years?
Hope there will be more DAOs. I hope there will be different kinds of DAO, not the DAOs trying to be successful in the commercial sense, but other DAOs can actually achieve what the own community really want. Because DAO ultimately is about the people of the community. So that it could be religion related, it can be politics, it can be NGO charity, it can be environmental protection, IP. It will be more interesting. We see have different types of DAO up and coming. And I agree with Chao that in this process, some of them are going to fail. It's just like startups, just like every person's life. There are some part of it we're going to fail. It's not going to make it, but it's okay. So we have to accept that. But the thing is, I think the world will be a lot more interesting when we have more DAOs replacing some of the existing organizational structure. Why is that? Because DAO is more community driven, it's more democratic, it's more transparent, it's more bottoms up. And a lot of this we can enjoy more, I think, adopting a DAO model. Yeah, so I'm bullish on DAO, and I really hope we can see these kind of new types of DAO happen. So that's why, it's important for us to get together, share our experience, our knowledge, because it's not easy. Running DAO is not easy, but because we have, true passion on it, we will be here. We are not gonna live. We are not like a tourist, just come during the summer and then leave during the winter. We are all builders. Even though there is no guarantee of success. For example, in the case of ADAO, but I'm fully committed and happy to learn from other DAO builders as well. The DAO，而且是不同类型的，不仅仅是在商业上，因为我们一聊到DAO或者crypto，对吧？或者都是 Web3也好，都是马上是想着这个挣钱的方向去，那也很正常。不过更加有趣的是，我们可能有一些其他类型的，可能是基于环保的、宗教的，这个生命科学研究的，可能是关于政治的不同，这样的没有，是比较缺少的吧。那对，所以以上就我分享的这个观点了。再看一下 Lydia，是不是要我们 Q&A 或者怎么继续？对。
Thanks, Com. Yeah, I think in the interest of time, we can start our Q&A and see if anyone in the audience has any questions or any thoughts, any comments would like to share. Feel free to request, so we can let you up on the stage. You request, 然后我们
I saw somebody post a question. Maybe Chao can help answer that. So the question is from Zhang. What are the most interesting DAOs that we should follow nowadays? 我看到有一个问题，就是说，留言的有人想知道，现在如果想跟踪一些DAO，有哪一些是比较有趣、值得去跟踪、了解和学习的？
Well, I think it really depends on what is your most interesting thing. I think different people have different interests, right? For example, if you are bullish on like dancing, you may want to find some DAOs in this area. If you are music fans, you have like sound camp, music, work on music, and a lot of music DAOs. So I don't think there is an answer for this question. But for me, I think Fit Club, FLB, that's two of my favorite DAO that they bring a lot of fun stuff. Yeah.哦，不好意思，我又忘了。对，我觉得这个没有标准答案，因为就这第一是有趣的道非常多，第二是就是比如对一个人有趣，其实对另外一个人未必有趣嘛，就是这个还要看个人的你真正的兴趣在哪边。就比如说你爱好舞蹈，那可能你会其实真的有你会找到跟舞蹈相关的一些道。如果你特别喜欢音乐音乐研究也好，或者是对乐队充满兴趣，现在都能找到很多这样的道。所以这个真的取决于个人那我个人其实从兴趣的角度来说，我会更喜欢Think Club、FLB，因为他们其实都很有趣那从投资的角度，其实就不敢瞎说了。我也在参与一些跟投资相关的道，像 ADAO，包括 Fit Club 有很多，所以这个是特别个人的一个判断，一个选择。
Thank you, Chao. And I see another question from Renata about, is Discord still the right base for DAO operations? What are some alternatives to Discord for DAOs? 就是我们刚刚有另外一个观众也提到一个问题，就是说，到底现在如果就是 Discord 现在是不是还是一个对于DAO来说一个比较适合的运营的一个工具，还是有什么样的一些其他的工具适合DAO去使用呢？就是如果做一个沟通的一个工具和平台的话，那 yeah, maybe Kama and Chao can share. See if you have you seen other tools other than Discord? It could be an effective tool.
Okay, maybe I can try to answer that. Thanks, Renata, for the question. Recently, ADAO, we have been approached by a couple DAO tooling platforms. One just demonstrate us their products. every time there is opportunity, we're happy to host a section, talk to them. And some of them they are trying to solve different pain points of the DAO operation. I've seen some really good products. At least it's still, but I have to say all of them are still very early stage. They haven't really launched yet, or they're still trying to ask us a lot of questions because they want to learn, what are the problems, what are the challenges, so that they can improve their products development. And some of them actually could get some fundings from famous VCs as well. So I would say for the next 6 months, there will be a lot more interesting and practical DAO tooling platforms, more Web3 native platforms coming up, and we want to be part of this journey by just giving our feedbacks, because every time we help them to improve their products, it's actually going to help us to use their products to improve our operation, make it more community friendly. So Discord, as in the case of A, we use that, but I would say we like the more community-driven approach. In our case, a lot of members prefer to use the chat group for daily communication. Okay, so let's do it. And we still use Discord, but we also use other tools such as Telegram to communicate and do the operation. Right now, we still need to use multiple Web2 platforms to make things work. Is it ideal? No, but it's okay. We get to move the things forward. But I'm very confident we will have more Web3 native solutions, meaning it's more connected to our wallet, our tokens, our NFTs when we do each process, because right now still a lot of things can improve, and more integrated as well. So I'm pretty optimistic because I see this young team working really hard to develop the products. 问我们，然后所以他们有一些也拿了一些比较著名的 VC 或者机构的资金。我看了一下，有一些还是做的蛮不错的，虽然只是一个 demo， 但是如果能够做出来，已经至少我们会想尝试的用吧。能够打动我们去试一下，因为他们是完全是从零开始为DAO而建设这种 platform 的，就不像 Discord 或者一下 Telegram， 他们是更加 Web2，本来他们就不是说他们不好，就是说他们不是说从零开始就为DAO而设计，对，所以我以上就分享这几个点，好。
Thank you, Karma. Thank you, Chao. Let's see if anyone else has any more questions, thoughts. Or Karma and Chao, do you have any other questions or any final thoughts? I think we're coming to the end of this Twitter space.
I would say for if you like today's content, go to the top of the this room. There was a DAO application. Just go to our website. Anyone can apply, and so we're happy to see you in the DAO so that we can learn more from you and build DAO together. 对，我要翻译一下。我们房间上面有一个我们 A 道的一个申请，大家可以点开那个链接，去我们的网站填一下表，就可以申请成为我们 A 道的会员。希望能够在 A 道里面见到大家，一起去在探索 Web3建设道。好。
对，看看Chao 这边有什么样有没有最后的一些想法，也想要跟大家去分享的。Any final thoughts from Chao?
Actually, I have a final question for Karma about ADAO. I mean, you have a application process. What is your principle, and how do you determine who will be your member or who will be not?
So we have a group of people that can vote on each applicant. So right now we have about 15 people in that group. So each person has a vote. When we get application, we have the basic profile, like the social media info. They were going to share with why they want to participate in our DAO. So first of all, if the person is serious about joining a DAO, sometimes if a person just put down one or two words, that doesn't, maybe he's not very clear about joining a DAO. Some people are at least trying very hard to tell us their story, their motivation, and things they can help. This is like a really good sign. So it's all about the attitude, the willingness. You can feel it when you look at the application. And the other thing is also, our existing the group members that they think they like that person, they think it fits the culture. It's not a very objective thing. It's more like a feeling. So I think that's a very important part of it because ultimately DAO is about people. We want the people that like each other, share the similar value and thought. So we don't put everything very subjective, quantify, but also leave some room to each person that can make the call. We don't have any like really hard line saying the person have to get this or get that in order to join a DAO. Nothing like a minimum requirement. So that's why I encourage everyone to just fill the form, join us. 主要标准吧。我们不会有一个硬性的一个指标，是说一个人有个底线或者有多牛怎样才可以加入的。更多的是一个态度吧。然后就是说还是交给我们这些人，大家是不是喜欢那个人呢？我觉得道是一个很这个人的组织，大家的这个气场气质，对吧？是不是相似的，互相吸引的？那我有交给我们这个大家去各自做个判断，所以不一定所有的都是通过量化来这个决策。对，so that's my answer for Chao's question.
Thank you, Kamar.
Thank you,
Hey,
Kamar and Dr. Chao. Oh, Chao, I thought you were trying to say something.
Oh no, I just say hello to Pandy. I just saw Pandy.
Hi, so I think as we are coming to the end of today's Twitter space, really thank you, really appreciate Chao's time, and we thank you, Chao, for joining us. And yeah, it's a great opportunity, I think, and it's great fun and a lot of very helpful and very insightful sharing from both Jess and Chao. And yeah, hope we can do this again. And DAO definitely it's a big topic. Web3 DAO and community is a big topic. A lot to learn, and we are still exploring and learning from each other and learning something new every day. So yeah, hopefully we can keep exchanging thoughts, keep sharing ideas, and yeah, keep growing and building the network and community together. Chao, 在道这一块，非常资深，也有很多很有用、很多很干货的一些分享能够带到给我们。那道这个 topic 确实这个话题也非常大，里面也包含了很多的东西。那我们也是希望说，通过这样的机会，通过 A 道能够跟更多在这方面有兴趣的人能够一起去连接。那我们也在这个路上可以一起去学习，做更多的分享，一起去创建打造这个社区跟我们的这个网络。那最后在这边我们也谢谢大家。那有什么问题，如果是有继续的其他的内容，有什么有兴趣的话，像康满刚刚说的，也可以 follow 我们的 Twitter，follow 我们的 Instagram。还有，那我们如果有兴趣加入 A 道的话，也可以通过上面的链接。Thank you everyone.
谢谢，
Have a good evening.
谢谢
Have a good night，大家晚安。
晚安，拜。